Welcome to the Alabama Bass Trail podcast presented by Phoenix Boats. I'm Kay Donaldson, the director of the Alabama Bass Trail and your host for this week's podcast. And unfortunately, you may want to take time to tune out now because it's just me this week. Things are going on, life is going on, work is going on. And I know I say this all the time. I apologize we weren't on the air last week. Things just happen. Work just happens. Life happens. I'm in the middle of conference, going here, going there, coming here, just all the things. And it is just a lot going on in the Alabama Bass Trail office. We are two full-time employees, and it is a lot going on. And if you haven't followed us for a decent amount of time, you're probably wondering why it's so busy because we're not in the thick of tournament season. But we are in the thick of sponsorship renewal, recruiting new sponsors, updating both websites, ABT 100, ABT tournaments for the 2026 season. We're also collecting all the new documents that we're going to need moving forward, and we're going to talk about that in the second segment a little bit. But I've got a board meeting on Thursday, so financials and new budgets and all the things, a marketing plan for them. So getting all that together, preparing for the ASA Sportfish Conference in Key West in 2 weeks. We've got a tournament called the Alabama Bass Trail Championship that's coming up. The third and final Alabama Bass Trail 100 on Wilson Lake that's coming up. Grant submissions, and grants seem so easy until you start writing them and you start getting letters of support from your legislators. And also, we've added 4 new Starlink systems to our live boats to help us with internet throughout the river systems. And you think, oh, okay, you bought a Starlink. Well, you've got to have a battery, and you've got to have a charger, and you've got to have an inverter, and you've got to have all the things that go with it. And also, hey, a case to get it all set in and secured. So all of that going on. We did assist with the Academy Sports and Outdoors grand opening in Coleman, Alabama. What an awesome event. And to see that store do so well in my hometown, I was thrilled with that. I'm going to cut this phone down because I just know that it is going to ring while I'm on this podcast. But so that was an awesome thing. We had 57, I think, kids come through and have their pictures made in the live studio holding the big ABT 100 belt. So really excited to have them and to be a part of that. So, and also it's the time that we're getting all the trailers serviced. We're getting all of the brakes checked, the tires changed, all the servicing done on all of our trailers, our trucks, everything that's going on. So it's all good stuff, but it's just a lot of stuff to go on. So be patient with us. We will try to have podcasts over the next few weeks. We're kind of in that wonky time in tournament season where we're still 3 weeks away from the championship. So people aren't really going to talk about what's going on. But we're a little far from ICAST to talk about new products. So we're just kind of in that weird time frame with fishing industry. But I will say this, it doesn't mean that tournaments have stopped. It certainly doesn't mean tournaments have stopped in the state of Alabama. I mean, we've got a ton going on in the state of Alabama over the course of the next 4 weeks. If you're looking just in some of the tournament schedules, and I'm not even going to look at the BFLs and the super tournaments and all that, but you've got the NPFL this week on Logan Martin. I know they did a meet and greet last night. You've also got the EQ that's coming to Wheeler Lake 2 weeks prior to our championship. I'm sure there will be a lot of eyes glued to that tournament. We're going to talk about the first EQ on Champlain in just a little bit, but you've got the EQ that's going to be on Wheeler October the 2nd through the 4th. You've got the Big Bass Tour that brings around 600-700 anglers to Lake Gunnersville in October, that first week. Also, I think that is around the same time that Ultimate Angler deal is going on. And I'm sure there's a lot more that I'm just not aware of, especially in the BFL regionals and things like that. But a lot going on in the state of Alabama when it comes to big bass tournaments. So I do want to give a shout out to my friends at the Decatur-Morgan County Tourism Office for bidding and securing the second EQ event. Really cool to have an inaugural season in your hometown. And those guys and ladies there at the Decatur-Morgan County Tourism Office do a heck of a job. And we look forward to being there in 3 weeks for our championship as well. Looking down the list of guys who have fished the Alabama Bass Trail that are in that EQ race, 10th place, Russ Lane, 19th place, Fisher Anaya, 47th place, Matt Adams, and 82nd place, Lucas Lindsay. I do think there were a few people, there are a couple of guys in that list ahead of them that maybe only fish Champlain, and so they will kind of move up a couple of notches in the points as it moves forward. But really unique format. The first time Bass has done this, I think the top 10 make it to the Bassmaster Elite Series. So, kind of a cool deal there. Good to see some of the names that are very familiar in the Alabama Bass Trail there as well. The Fisher Anayas, Matt Adams, and Lucas Lindsay. I do want to say good luck to them on the rest of their events. It's going to be really fun to watch that transpire at Wheeler Lake. I just want to remind you, Wheeler Lake is the heaviest weighted Alabama Bass Trail Championship in the 13 years or so that we have had, or 12 years that we've had Alabama Bass Trail. So that was held in 2015 on Wheeler Lake, 41 2-day total. Just a really cool event. I remember it being my second event, being in my hometown, and how excited I was to be there. It's really exciting to bring it back 10 years later. So excited to be back in Decatur, Alabama. Can't wait to get there, get to work alongside my daughter, Emma, as she is the social media and communications director there at the Decatur Morgan County Tourism Board. She took that position roughly about 6 months or so after we made the announcement of the championship going there. So getting to work alongside her will be a lot of fun as well. So we're going to take a quick break. In the next segment, it's really going to be an informational segment. There's a lot of things coming down the pipe with the lawsuits that are coming out on the Smith Lake accident earlier this year. So we're going to address some of that, talk about how the Alabama Bass Trail is going to address some of those concerns, and give you some information that you might need if you are either A, looking to participate in the Alabama Bass Trail, or B, you're signed up for 2026 and need to know what you're going to need to do. So we'll be back in just a minute, but stay tuned, and we've got some commercials coming up from our sponsors, but we'll be right back here on the Alabama Bass Trail podcast presented by Phoenix Boats. Y'all stay tuned.
It's the moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. All born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
Welcome back to the second segment of the Alabama Bass Trail podcast presented by Phoenix Boats. I'm still Kay Donaldson, the director of the Alabama Bass Trail. Let's get into this segment. And again, this is going to be an informational segment for you. Currently, with the championship coming up and the Alabama Bass Trail 100, we're going to go ahead and ask that these anglers who are qualified for the championship and who have signed up for the ABT 100 to provide us copies of their boater safety certificate as well as their insurance declaration page that shows they have a minimum of the $100,000 liability coverage on their boat. And I'm not going to talk much about the lawsuits that have been filed, although I do have copies of both of those lawsuits. I was sent those by our attorneys. And just FYI, we do have a group of attorneys that are on retainer for the Alabama Bass Trail that work with us, not only on our rules, but also when things like this come up that don't necessarily involve the Alabama Bass Trail, but has a potential to affect us in the future. Our attorney is very in tune with that. So he has sent me both of those lawsuits, and we have, as he calls, redlining them and really paying attention to the things that we can do better on our side to make sure that we are encouraging boater safety. So you probably, if you're fishing the championship, you've already received your DocuSign email. It is asking you for your boater safety certificate and your insurance declaration. Yes, we understand that not each one of you have a boat, and you probably don't have boating insurance if you do not own a boat. We are working on an affidavit for you to sign and submit in place of that. Our attorney is working on that. We hope to have it out by this Thursday, the 25th of September. You will just print that, sign it, and then include it in your upload when you upload your driver's license that shows your vessel license on your driver's license. Anyone in the state of Alabama, I know that it says non-resident boaters must have a boater safety certificate, but you should on your Alabama driver's license show that you have a vessel license. You will need to show that. You will need to take a picture of that and upload it. And guys, I don't care what your reason is. I don't care what your excuse is. You will not take the water if we do not have that in our hands. So just letting you know that we are not going to put our organization at risk because of your failure to comply with these rules. Just not going to do it. If you do not have a boating safety certificate, I encourage you to go online and do that and have it in your possession and upload it to us. Again, if you do not have this information uploaded by the deadline, you will not participate in this tournament. Just not gonna do it. Hate to be a hard ass, but it's just not gonna happen. Don't wait. If you're an ABT 100 angler, don't wait until the time we send the email out to get your stuff together. You can go ahead and have a picture of your boater safety certificate in your phone. You can have a picture of your declaration page of your insurance in your phone so that when you get your email the middle of October, that you can upload it immediately. And for those of you who are signed up for the 2026 season, again, go ahead and get your stuff together so that when we send your email out in October, all you have to do is fill out your W-9, sign your rules acknowledgement, sign your terms and conditions, upload your driver's license, upload your insurance, and upload your boater safety. All of that will be done. Your driver's license, front and back, your boater safety, which is on your license if you're in state. You're out of state, you'll have a card that shows that you have a boater safety, and then everything else that we normally collect from you. Again, in years past, and let me echo this, in years past, we have begged you to fill out your paperwork. And when I say beg, 2 text messages, 2 emails, numerous times on the podcast saying fill out your paperwork. I'm not going to do it this year. You will get an email. You will get a text message. If you fail to complete your paperwork, we'll just replace your team. We're not going to put ourselves in a posture of begging you to fill out your paperwork. We are all adults here. If you're not prepared to fill out the necessary paperwork to get on that water legally, then you can't fish with us. That's just as easy as I can say it. We're not going to beg you. We're 2 employees. We have a lot of things going on. And if it's not important enough to you, then it's not important enough to us. Make sure you have it done. We will give you a deadline. If it is not done by then, your next email from me will be, you failed to complete the necessary paperwork. We will be replacing your team. So make sure that you get that in the time allotted. We typically give you 2 weeks. But you don't have to wait until we send that email. You can get your stuff together now and just be sitting on go when we send you the email. Again, I hate to be like this, but we don't have time to chase you down and text you and beg you to complete paperwork. It's just really not that hard. Some people do it day 1, takes them 3 minutes, it's over. Some of you, last day, I have 150 still sitting out here not being done. So if you have not updated your email address, if you've not updated your physical address, you have an opportunity to do that now with your team ID and PIN number to ensure that we have the correct email address. Go into your profile, enter your team ID and PIN number, check and make sure that we have the correct email address. We only have whatever you provide us. So if you provide us an email and it's wrong, there's not a thing I can do about it. I don't have any way of knowing that it's wrong until I send it out and it doesn't come to you. So seems like I'm harping, seems like I'm being a high school teacher or a middle school teacher, but this is very important. There are a number of lawsuits that are pending regarding the boating accident on Smith Lake in April. There was just a recent boating accident on Wadowee. And in order to protect not only this organization, but to protect you as an angler and to protect the other anglers and other people enjoying the body of water on that day, it is our responsibility and your responsibility to make sure that we have adequate documentation. So if you have any questions about that, my number is always on 855 934-7425. And then most of you already have my cell phone number as well. You're welcome to email me at kay@alabamabasstrail.org. I'll be happy to return your email or your phone call if I do not get your phone call. But unfortunately, this is something that I'm not going to be, I'm not going to budge on. So if you plan on fishing the Alabama Bass Trail, if you're signed up for 2026, understand that you either provide the documentation or you will not fish the Alabama Bass Trail. So that's how that goes. So if you have any questions about that, you're welcome to give us a call. Angela as well, Angela at alabamabasstrail.org. She's actually the one sending out those emails to you. So please make sure that you get that information back to her. But on a fun note, 23 days to the Alabama Bass Trail Championship on Wheeler Lake. That's a $100,000 no entry fee tournament will be paid out there at the ramp. Looking forward to being back on Wheeler Lake, 67,000 acres on the Tennessee River. Hopefully temps are going to cool off and get those fish moving in that fall pattern. We look forward to being there. Jason, Luke, and Darian will be out on the water covering that event. 5 hours live coverage both on Friday and Saturday. The full field of 170 boats will fish both days. So looking forward to that. And we are 39 days away from the Alabama Bass Trail 100 on Wilson Lake, first time ever on the Alabama Bass Trail. Looking forward to being on Wilson Lake and bringing you live coverage on Saturday, November the 1st. We are 69 days away from the Alabama Bass Trail 100 payments being due. That's December the 1st. You will receive a text message in the middle of November giving you your team ID and PIN number for you to go in and pay those. Again, we're not going to beg you to pay it. If you don't pay it, we'll go to the waiting list. There's currently 17 people on the waiting list in the Alabama Bass Trail 100. You will get a reminder text message, but as far as us calling you and texting you, we will not do that. If you choose not to pay your balance by December the 1st, we will go to the waiting list and replace your team. We just don't have time, guys, to sit around and send 15 reminders to people. So, and you think that I'm over exaggerating. That is not an over exaggeration at all. It's not at all uncommon for me to have 150 people sitting there on the deadline to pay their balances. So we will send you a reminder, but then after that, that's up to you to remember. So we currently have 17 teams on the waiting list in the ABT 100. 87 days away from ABT payments being due. That's December the 19th. Again, you will get a text message middle of November giving you your team ID and PIN number so that you can go in and pay those payments. You don't have to wait on that text message. You should have an email confirmation from your registration that gives you your team ID and PIN number, but you can go in there and pay that at any time. The cutoff is December the 19th at close of business. So please make sure that you get those in as well. If not, we will resort to the waiting list there. We have 56 people on the waiting list in the North Division, as well as 36 teams on the waiting list in the South. And that does it for the information that we have to give you. And I don't like having to give that kind of information, but unfortunately, we're put in a position that we have to. All right. Before we wrap this up, and we were off the air last week, I just want to recognize the horrible events that have taken place in our country over the last couple weeks. The senseless loss of life that we've experienced has literally shaken our country to its core. Despite your religious affiliations, despite whether you vote blue or red, whether you're conservative or liberal, I think we can all agree that there are no justifications for the actions that we've seen over the past couple weeks. Our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers go out to the families of the children involved in the school killing, to Charlie Kirk's family, to the young lady who was here seeking a better life that was just her life was taken for no reason except for sport. And there's no justification for that. I don't care which side of the aisle you are on. There's no call for that. So I hope for our nation, for our country, for our state, that we are better people. And it was I got a call from my son, or a text message from my son that night, and he mentioned how heavy the day felt. And I think for the majority of us, it felt that way. Those are not fun days. I remember 9/11 feeling that way. I remember feeling that way when the space shuttle exploded back when I was just a child. I remember the feeling of 9/11. I remember the feeling on September the 10th. Just a very, very heavy feeling. So I say all of that to say each week when I close this podcast out, I always encourage you to love on your family, to hug your mom and them, to give your fur puppy, or fur babies a little extra treat every once in a while. And I'm going to continue to do that because we never know what our day is going to end like. We don't know what our family's day is going to end like. And I know for myself, I don't ever want there to be a regret where that goes. And I don't ever want my family to have to wonder if I love them. So please make sure that you tell your loved ones that you love them, check in on them, your friends, your family. It doesn't take that much of a time to just say, hey, I was thinking about you. I hope you're okay. I love you. I really, really, really encourage you to do that. Don't wait for something to go wrong. Be present and be where your feet are. And remember that I had a boss that told me this one time, that when the goes down, your family's going to be the one in your foxhole. And I have seen that over and over and over in my extended family out on the Alabama Bass Trail as well. So please take time to hug your mom and them, and to let your loved ones know that you love them. Don't let them wonder if you love them. Take time and enjoy the great outdoors. It's finally cooling off. The leaves are starting to change. Here they're starting to fall because we've had no rain. But it is starting to cool down. It's starting to get that fall time of the year. Some of y'all like that. I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm a summer girl. I don't like cold weather. I don't like cool weather. I like summertime. So, but I'm going to be graceful in accepting the cool weather, knowing that summer is coming again. But thank you so much for tuning in. I know this isn't the normal podcast, not a lot of fun and shots taken here like Luke and I normally do, or Darian and all of them. We'll get them back on the air in a couple weeks to talk about the championship, kind of see where we lie, maybe have some anglers come in and record with us to see how they feel about the championship at Wheeler Lake. But in the meantime, thank you for tuning in this week. Please, please, please hug your mom and them. God bless, good fishing, and peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Alabama Bass Trail Podcast. To learn more about the Alabama Bass Trail, make sure and visit alabamabasstrail.org.